And we're live. Happy Friday. It is a beautiful day today. It is going to be a high of 80 degrees. It's already gorgeous out there. I might still be in my Oxfit hoodie, but that doesn't mean that I can't be comfy inside. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody's had a great week. We've been having a great week here at Oxfit. I mean, dang. Today, honestly, today's the first day that I feel like that my body is not as sore as it's been all week. I mean, we've been crushing it this week. I mean, we started Monday off with thrusters and pull-ups. That really set the tone for the week. That recovery day yesterday, I know a lot of us needed just with that cardio, that box step overs. And now today we're back on the barbell. And man, what a good workout it is today. Who doesn't love some barbell work? Man, I hope everybody else is enjoying their morning as much as I am, because all I can think about is, number one, getting to see everybody that I enjoy today. Number two, the sun shining. My Bubba is full. Electrolytes, creatine. It's good. I especially got this new creatine recently, and it is lemonade flavored. And if anybody knows me, you know how much I love a lemonade. And it's honestly been, and people can vouch for me, I love lemonade, strawberry lemonade especially. And I would drink, I mean, I'm talking full, not even sugar-free, I'm talking real full sugar lemonade. I'd go to dinner or I'd have lunch and I'd drink like two. And I mean, that right there is probably like 120 grams of sugar just for my drinks. And man, just you could not get me to say no to a lemonade. But the difference it has made that I actually cut that out of my daily habits. I noticed a lot of changes when I cut out my lemonade, and I was like, no, I'll never do it. I can't do it. I can't give it up. It's my one, I would say it was probably my one vice, because I used to have the vice of, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's like you eat something and immediately after you're like, I need a sweet treat. No, Caitlin needed a lemonade. And so it's very much like, I mean, I get it when people are like, oh, I just really need a treat. Oh, no, or especially on a hot day, a lemonade goes so hard, especially if the lemonade is like that perfect mix of like tart and sweet. It just really does it for me. I mean, if put in the comments, we can talk about it in the comments. What's your favorite, if you had to choose, if you do like lemonade, what's your favorite lemonade? Because mine happens to be Ford's Barbecue in Oakhurst. They get their lemonade. Why am I blanking? They get it from this local company, and it is probably the best lemonade I've ever had. In second place comes the diet lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Man, it is delicious. But like I said, I found these lemonade creatine packets from Sun Warrior, because I was actually having trouble drinking my creatine, and I've been mixing it with my mango orange electrolytes. I found this new company at the Vitamin Shop, and it's an English company, so it's from England, and it has only like 5 ingredients, which I love. And I mix them together, and it's like the most refreshing drink that I think I've had in a while. And it makes me feel good. 0 sugar, no calories. Does it for me. And I've been drinking it every day for like 2 weeks. I love it. It's really, really good. But all right, we're about 4 minutes in. Everybody's here. Let's get into it. We're talking on this beautiful Friday. Let's talk about excuses. You are your excuses. And I know some people want to be like, well, Caitlin, it's not that serious. No, it is that serious. And I can say it as someone who, really falls victim to having an excuse here or there. I had one this week. I was like, man, I don't want to work out. I've got really bad cramps. I mean, sure, you could say that that's a genuine reason, but it's not like I couldn't do anything. I want to give a shout out to especially some of our athletes who recently, one of them I can say, Carrie, shout out to Carrie. She was, going really hard in the gym and she kind of strained her hamstring a little bit. I think one day when we were running and jumping rope, and instead of letting that be a deciding factor for her of being like, I just can't go to the gym, I'm going to rest it. Instead of leading from a place of weakness, she led from a place of strength. And she chose to still come to the gym. And we instead then modified the workout. And she was still able to come each day and get a bomb workout in, sweat, still be here with everybody instead of, getting back into the habit of just not being at the gym. Because I'm telling you, it's hard to get into the habit at times of coming to the gym, of making sure your nutrition is on point. And it's easier to fall out of that habit after simply a week. You can go on vacation for a week or 2 weeks and you come back and then it's another week sometimes before you get back into the gym. And it comes, and the excuses start to come out. Oh, well, I'm tired, or it was a long travel, or it was a long flight, or I'm just, just not feeling it. And eventually you become your excuses. That saying that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Well, eventually you become the sum of all of your excuses. And they're easy because think about it. There are 168 hours in the week. 168 hours in the week. We have 24 in a day. You're working probably, I would say, 8 hours a day. Okay, so you've got 40 hours of work a week. Okay, well, 168 minus 40 still leaves us 128 hours. All right, well, if you're a normal person, maybe you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night. Okay, so if you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night, 8 times 7 is 56. Okay, so we were at 128, and then we subtract 56. Okay, well, that's still leaving us during the day after work, eating, maybe our morning routine. We still have about 8 to 10 hours in the day. What are we doing with those 8 to 10 hours? If I work 8 hours and I sleep 8 hours, that's only 16. I have 24 hours, but most of us don't sleep 8 hours. You're maybe sleeping only 5 or 6 hours. You've got time. But what ends up happening during that time is that we end up making excuses. So, I can't come to the gym. Because I've got to go, to the DMV, or, I can't meal prep my meals because I have to go, I don't have enough time after work to do that. It's not even about time anymore. Now it just becomes the habits that you have created based off of your excuses. So that's where I fall short. And one major excuse, and you might not look at this as an excuse, is you're laying in bed. You're like, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. Your alarm goes off and you're just like, but I'm so comfy. The blanket's so warm. I didn't sleep that great last night. You're not always going to feel motivated to do anything. All right. You're not going to feel motivated to work. You're not going to feel motivated to, eat your meal prep. You're not going to feel motivated to come to the gym. But that's when you have to stay dedicated to what you said. Excuses, what you said. So what you have said to yourself is this promise that you're trying to keep of, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to get bigger. I want to get more muscular. I want to do a marathon. I want to do a triathlon. I want to do beach brawl. But then all these little excuses that you keep finding add up to a bigger habit, and you're just going to fall short, and you're not going to hit that goal. You're not going to stay in your routine, and you have zero dedication. And I'm not trying to be harsh when I say that you have no dedication to keeping the promises to yourself, but that's what's happening. And it's so easy to get caught up day after day after day in your excuses. one thing, for example, that I did is I was like, well, I need to clean out my car. I need to, I want to have a better habit of keeping it clean. And it's not that I don't keep it clean. It's that when I'm back and forth between work every single day, work, my house, training, then I've got my training bag. I've got my lunchbox. I've got the meal prep I was eating on the way to training. I've got the meal prep I was eating on the way to the gym in the morning. And then I just put the container in my car, and everything just keeps piling and stacking up. And it's like, oh, and then by the time the week ends, my car is a wreck. You couldn't even sit in it if you wanted to, just in the driver's seat. And I have stuff all over my car. Well, I told myself I was going to clean out the car, but then I was like, oh, well, I don't have enough time today, or I've got to do something else. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow becomes the next day, and the next day becomes the day after that. And then the day after that becomes the next week. And it just keeps combining. And then you're just so far behind that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you're kind of like, where do I go from here? How do I get there? How do I beat my excuses? How do I push myself to actually, just like Lauren said right here, she said, yes, I feel this. It's not easy getting back into the rhythm. I'm guilty of trying to jump back into 100 and then overwhelming myself. Take baby steps to get back into the groove. And that is so true, because this is what ends up happening. You go on vacation. You've been coming to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. You get back. You're tired. You were hanging out. You were eating, this, that, and the other. So then you start getting in your head and you're like, oh, well, I don't feel that great. Or oh, I was already eating like this. I'm just going to keep going. And then it just starts snowballing. And instead of you just being like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go to the gym today and move. Okay, great. You don't have to be like, when I get back home, I'm going to the gym. I'm meal prepping my meals. I've got to get my steps in. I'm going to sleep this much. That is so overwhelming that all you're doing is setting yourself up for failure. You're not actually setting yourself up for success. And so how do you set yourself up for success? Okay, well, number one, when planning on getting back into the rhythm, or when planning on coming back to the gym, or you're coming to the gym for the week, the number one thing that you can do for yourself is go ahead and commit to what days that you're going to come to the gym. Now, some of us use this on our Wodify app who come to Oxfit. But on the Wodify app, you can reserve a spot in class. We don't require you to reserve a spot yet, but looking at the week, if you're just trying to get back into it, or say you're just starting, look at the workouts for the week, because Savannah has them in there. She sends you the emails with the workouts on them. Look at the workouts for the week and choose, okay, I'm going to go Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Maybe hold yourself accountable then by reserving a spot in class. Because I'll tell you, the coaches can see when you reserve that spot, and then when you don't show and we mark you as a no-show, well, we're going to reach out and be like, hey, where were you today? Because that gives you some accountability. But also, then you don't have to overwhelm yourself with either getting into the gym for the first time or getting back to your normal routine. Number two, another way to set yourself up for success is go ahead and get your meals and the food and your nutrition that you have for the week ready and prepped. Now, I talk about having all these hours in a day. The last thing I'm going to do is go home and cook after a long day. Like take today, for example. I woke up this morning at 3:15. I left my house not too long after, and I'm going to be here till probably 8 p.m. today. 3 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there is no shot, no way in hell that when I get home tonight, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock, that I'm going to want to cook a single thing, let alone probably eat anything. I'll be honest. I'm going to be interested in taking a shower and going to bed. But this is where we end up a lot of times failing, because we are busy, or maybe we have work, we have meetings, we have things going on, but that doesn't have to stop you from continuing and maintaining your goals and maintaining your nutrition and what you're doing. So what I do is on the weekends, because I know come Monday, there's no way throughout the week that I'm genuinely going to have time to prep anything or cook anything, really. It's all about convenience. That's what everything is about these days, convenience. So on Sunday, I'm simply going to take an hour to an hour and a half. I'm going to make and prep all of my meals for the entire week. So when I do, like I did this morning, when I woke up and I was getting ready to leave, I pick and choose my meals from the fridge, put it in my lunchbox, and I'm out the door. I don't even have to think about anything. Right? So now that I'm set up for success with my nutrition and I don't have to worry about that, that gives me the ability to do and think about other things. Because what it all really comes down to is that you have no systems in place and you have no dedication to your goals, that in those moments of having no motivation or having no desire to do any of those things, then they're not going to happen. So without these systems in place, without setting yourself up for success, there is no way within this crazy thing that we call life, because something may happen, something may go throughout your day. You might have to go pick your kid up from school. They might be sick. You might have a last minute meeting get put on your books. The best way that you can navigate through your day and navigate through your week and set yourself up for success is actually planning and keeping promises to yourself and dedicating specific times to certain things. It really all comes down to having good habits and good processes. Because without those, we fail. And then what happens is it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. I think my favorite excuse that I hear a lot of the time is we'll have people who are interested in the gym. They'll step foot in the gym. We'll have, one-on-one, either goal setting session, or, you talk to Lauren in a Zoom before you come to the gym. And people will say, well, I need to get ready to come to the gym. I'm not ready yet. I'm not fit enough to come to the gym. What kind of excuse is that? That you're not fit enough to come to the gym? We get you fit. We help you get there. The only thing that you need to do is step a foot in the door. But that's the biggest excuse I hear all the time. And something that always happens to me as well is I'll wear my coaching shirt out. So like say I've coached during the day and I run to Publix and I'm going to go pick myself up a rotisserie chicken, which is one of my favorite things to do. Someone will randomly come up to me and be like, oh, you're a coach? And I'm like, yeah. I'm at Oxfit, East Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, I keep saying I want to get in the gym, but I've got this going on. I've got this. My kids have this sport. My kids do this, or my partner does this, or I'm just not ready, or I was sick, or this, that, or the other. And I can't help but laugh a little bit because, first off, I don't know you. And if you're trying to justify to yourself the reasons as to why you're not either being healthy or taking care of yourself to somebody who is in this field, I get it. And it's funny. And it's like, you want me to help, be like, oh yeah, I get it. Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. And, we had a meeting yesterday and Ant said something that really, stuck out to me. And it was like, and he said something along the lines of, why are we not attacking everything that we're doing the same way that we attack our training and our nutrition? Because he's right. I am hardcore about my training. I am hardcore about my nutrition. But then there's other little things that are kind of slipping by me because I'm not attacking them in the same way. And I know that's because I find, myself with my own little excuses. Oh, well, I didn't sleep well last night, or I'm cramping, or I'm tired, or, just these little things. And it's like, if I actually put in the effort and attacked everything the way that I do about the things that matter the most to me, then I can't imagine where I'd be if I was doing that every single day a year from now. You have to remember that it's not about, there's always going to be an excuse. There will always be something that comes up, and there will always be a reason why you can't do something. But the difference between the person who is doing it and the person and you not doing it is that person isn't making excuses anymore. You guys, it's April. It's the end of April. We barely have one full week left in April. And you're still making the same excuses, and you're still doing the exact same thing that you were doing last April and the April before that, because you still have the same excuses. You're still falling victim to the same reasons and bad habits that you had last year. You're still not achieving those goals that you set every single New Year's Day. You're never going to achieve them. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you continue to fall victim to the same excuses that you've been using year after year after year, well, guess what? You're going to stay stuck in the same exact place this time again next year, and probably the year after that, and possibly the year after that. That's why you see other people and you're like, man, they're just like, how did they make all that money? Or how did they get that house? Or they got a promotion, or they're getting all the things that you say that you want, because they're not letting excuses hold them back anymore. It gets to a point that you get tired of your own BS, that you finally are just like, this is it. But when does that point happen? When does that moment happen that you finally decide that you're tired of bullshitting around and actually keeping the word that you gave to yourself, the word that you gave to me, that you told your friends? Because I'll tell you, instant gratification is so real. And we get caught up in telling people, oh, well, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And in that moment, you get that instant gratification, and then you end up not doing it. But all you're doing instead, to me, and I've talked about this before, all you're doing instead is lying to me, and you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to other people, because you're not going to do it. And I'm telling you, there are plenty of reasons that come up in the day-to-day for everyone not to do something. But it's the people who push past those reasons, who find the time, who make the time, who know that it takes dedication, because the motivation won't always be there, who aren't going to let themselves be held back by themselves anymore. Because I've said this before, it's not your kids, it's not your spouse, it's not your partner, it's not your parents. Nobody is stopping you. You're the only thing standing in your way. You are your excuses, because whether you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. And so the only thing holding yourself back is you. It's time to stop making all these excuses. It's time to stop living based off of your excuses and everything, because let me tell you, life is hard. Life is hard. And trying to work out and eat right and take care of your family and take care of yourself and be a great husband, be a great wife, be a great partner, be a great daughter or son, it's a lot and it's tiring. But there's always one major difference between the people who can't do it and the people who can. And it's because the people who can believe that they can, and they do, and they will. So how much longer are you going to spend wasting time being a victim of your own excuses? Because no, it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Our gym would be filled to the brim because everybody would be working out. You should know people are tired of your excuses. When are you going to be tired of your own excuses? We're approaching the 5th month of the year. The year is almost halfway over. When are you going to finally get tired of your own BS and start working towards those goals? When are you finally going to start working towards losing that 10 pounds? When are you finally going to take that leap of faith for that promotion that you want? When are you finally going to make that move to that new house, that new apartment, instead of being comfortable where you're at? Being uncomfortable is hard. Doing hard things is hard, but you just have to choose your hard. And the only thing that you need to do is take that first step through that door, that first email that you need to send, that first meal that you meal prep. It only takes one, because instead of being one day, it becomes day one. When will it be your day one? You've got 7 months left. This year's moving quick. So if you have any goals or anything that you're trying to achieve, you can direct message me at Coach Beefy. You can email me at eastatlantaaox.fit. Look, we're all guilty. We're all guilty of having reasons and excuses why we haven't done something yet. Maybe it's fear, being scared of the unknown. Maybe it's just that you're fine where you're at. Maybe you're one of those people that you don't really care for change and you're just good coasting along and enjoying life. Okay, great. But I know that you can't just be satisfied where you are. I know that you just can't be okay being stuck and doing the same thing over and over and over again every single year and seeing no change. I know you're restless. Don't waste another week. Don't waste another day. Don't waste another month, because you can literally do or be anything that you want to be on any given day. Don't forget that. Don't be a victim of your own excuses. Don't stand in your way. Tune in next Friday. I'll see you then. Let's go.